music.
What's good? Coming at y'all with another video, and today I just wanted to talk about my process for how I create my beat making videos. And doing so, I'm actually going to show you today in LumaFusion. I actually use LumaFusion, which is a video editing app on the iPad. I think it goes for around $24.99, but you can find it on sale from time to time, as well as I use a little bit of Final Cut too on my Mac. I like LumaFusion because I kind of got used to it at one time. I had a Mac that was very slow until I got the M1 MacBook Pro a couple of years ago. I had one that was before that was an iMac that was very slow, and I had some trouble running Final Cut on it. Not so much my current M1 Mac, but I say that only to say the iPad Pro, I got used to using that. I pretty much do most of my editing in LumaFusion, though from time to time I use Final Cut on my Mac. It just all really depends on how I feel. Today we're gonna look at LumaFusion, and I'm getting my audio files from Machine on my Mac. What I usually do is I export the audio files, and not just in Machine. It could be Beatmaker 3, it could be the MPC. I'm going to export the audio files, just kind of how I created the beat in the video. So let's just say, for example, I started off with the Rhodes, or I started off with a guitar, and then from there I added my hi-hats, and then the kick and the snare, and then so on and so forth. But that's kind of how I arrange my video. Now I do know some other creators, they might use a Zoom recorder to record the sound coming from their DAW. That's also cool as well. There's no right or wrong way. I'm just here to show you how I do it. Might be a little bit of work for some, but I've edited a few music videos before, and I know there's a lot more that goes into editing music videos, but to compare the two, I think there's some similarities as well in terms of being able to align the audio correctly. So if you have a song, for example, where you're trying to align the lyrics with the video, you know, you got video footage for your music video, and you're aligning the original track with the lyrics so everything is in sync, or you have some apps that actually do that for you. But similarly, you would do that with your beats as you're making a beat for the video. So a lot of the content you might see on Instagram Reels that I would say is in landscape, or that you see on YouTube Shorts, is going to be shot with my iPhone 13 Pro. Now, as far as the cameras, I shoot with either the Canon M50, which that's what I'm shooting with right now, and I also have a Canon T2i. It's a little bit older camera, but it's really good to have a second camera, especially when you're trying to get two different angles. Even though the Canon T2i isn't 4K resolution, highest resolution for the Canon T2i will be 1080p. The Canon M50 that I'm shooting on right now, again, is going to be 4K. All right, so now to show you a little bit more about my process. Let's go ahead and get into that. I'm gonna show you my process as far as how I make my beat making videos. All right, so on this toolbar on the left side, I'm going to have the imported clips from the Canon M50 that I shot for this beat making video. And I'm just going to hold and drag this down into the timeline as we can see it here. I'm gonna go ahead and chop the video right here so we can add the audio. So we have our audio right here, and we just want to follow the waves as we see them. But I like to align these as perfect as I can. That way it's going to transition from scene to scene just as I was making the beat. Don't forget to chop on the back end, and then we also have to turn the audio down on the video clip itself, just so you guys see what I did. When it comes to LumaFusion, the video layer, you have to double tap and then it's going to go to this screen. And at the bottom highlighted is going to be the audio, where the speaker is in blue. We also have a section here for color and effects. You got this middle section for stabilization. To the left of that, if you want to increase the speed or slow it down. And then you got this first icon for frame and fit. So things like, if I want to go through the video, for example, let's say I don't shoot with my two Canons. Well, when I do frame and fit, at times it allows me to be able to zoom like this, just to make it seem like I'm getting a close-up. And you'll notice even like other creators online, they do the same thing in some of their videos. They may not have a second camera, but it's just a good way to get some variation in your video. Now, depending on the track that I'm working with, it could be anywhere from 4 to about 8 different sections, which kind of comes down to about a minute to maybe a minute and a half, maybe 2 at most, depending on the beat that I'm making. But those are good for me to post again as a Instagram reel, maybe even on TikTok or as a YouTube short. As we see here, we have this first scene. Now when we watch it, all right, so I'm gonna chop it right here, and we're gonna get rid of this section here, and then we're gonna get rid of this section here. Now, so I forgot to turn down the audio on the second clip. And we're just gonna turn that down real quick. Now, let's see. So now we have the audio on the first and second scene. So from here on out, I'm just gonna continue to arrange the audio as I played it in the video. So for example, started off with the Rhodes, then went to the guitars, and then so on and so forth until I'm done with the video. Alright, so that is pretty much my process for how I make my beat making videos. Again, today we use LumaFusion on the iPad, and I took the audio files from Machine on my Mac, and I just aligned the audio files under the video, did some chopping along the way, and made sure everything was on time just as it was as I did in the video. If you're new to making beat making videos, and this also has helped you in some kind of way, please go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at d._majormusic. Same thing on TikTok. You could also follow me on Twitter at d.mme. And again, creators out there, if you're new to this channel, We also do the Major Music Lounge podcast, the podcast for music producers as well as independent artists. If you're interested in appearing on the show, check out some of the episodes here on this channel as well as all podcast streaming platforms. Let me know what you think and get at me if you'd like to be on the show.